So becoming a developer is often portrayed as this great thing that offers great pay and great benefits. But what if I told you there was some things that they're just not telling you? Being a developer can be great, don't get me wrong, but it does have its downfalls. As a developer myself, let me share with you some of the biggest untold truths about being a developer. There are three main truths that I want to share with you, and the last one you might not have ever guessed. The first big untold truth that's not discussed enough is the amount of freedom that you retain from going from learning how to code to actually becoming a developer. So when you're learning how to code, you get all of those different freedoms, but once you actually become a developer, you have to remember you're still getting a job. So you don't necessarily get to decide what projects you work on, you don't get to decide what languages you use. Those are already predetermined by the company and your managers. It's a misconception when you're learning how to code because you get all of this different freedom where you get to choose what projects you work on and whatnot. But in reality, you still retain the job structure of any other job out there where you don't have as much freedom as, say, if you weren't working for the company. And this typically means working on the projects that they decide for you and fixing the bugs that they decide are worth the time being spent to be fixed. Speaking of bugs, that brings us to the next truth. As a developer, you're constantly going to get stuck. And not stuck in a normal sense, but stuck as in like you're working on something and something breaks, you get an error code, or you're not really sure how to go forward and you are stuck. Being stuck is part of being a developer, and what makes you a good developer is being able to push through getting stuck. There are going to be roadblocks in your way of getting past this error or fixing this bug that has no error message. It's very common, and it's one of those things that you just need to learn to push through. And sure, as a developer, you get the opportunity to work with other developers and ask for their advice and see if they have an understanding of what's going on. But in all reality, you're going to likely spend most of your time alone trying to solve that problem by yourself. As a developer, you will be working with other people at the company. What this means is you will have to be working with code that you've never seen before and you've never written. It's something that quite honestly threw me off guard because I wasn't fully expecting to spend a majority of my day reading other people's code. And to be honest, I'm not much of a reader. That's why I went into coding. So what this typically means is reading line by line code in order to fix that bug or in order to review that other developer's code before it makes it into production. The point is, there will be a lot of time spent reading other people's code and having to understand it in order to continue on writing your own code. And those are the three untold truths from a self-taught developer. I hope this helps you guys and gives you a better insight as what it's like to be a developer and kind of shine some light on some of the things that aren't talked about as much. If you're interested in content like this, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment if you have questions or if there's content that you would like to see. I'll see you next time.